Welcome to Dishin It, the Daughter and Daddy podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Regan.
Daddy-daughter Disney travel talk meets fun and friendship. Coming up on our introduction to Dishin It, what Disney travel advice you can expect to receive on each episode.
Daughter and Daddy outside the park.
Our special segments, the Extra Magic Minute, Walt's Wisdom, Top 3, and Train Mail.
Keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast at all times, because your ride is about to embark.
Hi, and welcome back to Dishin It, the Daughter and Daddy podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Regan.
March 2020. Here we are, Regan. Tough times being at home all day. What are your thoughts of being home from school and unable to see your friends?
Well, it's hard to say. I have mixed emotions about it. The one thing that's good about it is that we don't need to make our lunch and we don't need to socialize. But I'd rather learn from teachers than an app or just learning by myself.
Well, you know, Regan, the teachers are so valuable to us, and we just see the work they're doing, getting things out to the students right now, and just they themselves as teachers learning about online resources and how to best educate the children and support the parents at home. It's really a tough time, and the teachers are doing a fantastic job. Certainly we're biased because Mom is a teacher.
Yes.
And a great teacher, and we also know some teachers in the community that are fantastic as well. So, you know, when we think about the services that are being provided by the people all over the world, we thank the teachers and the healthcare professionals. But I know people are at home and maybe missing Disney and the fun that comes with planning or attending a park or a cruise. So let's go over some things the listeners can expect each episode. Maybe we can all look forward to brighter days. So, Regan, why this podcast?
We love Disney.
Yes, we do. So I'll start about why this podcast. So for me, my first experience attending Disney was as a dad, taking Regan and the family on a week trip to Animal Kingdom Jumbo House. Our family was hooked when we opened the blinds of our room and there was a giraffe staring at us through the window. Since then, we have been to many, many Disney resorts. We have also seen the world from Russia to Alaska and everywhere in between with Disney Cruise Line. We have learned so much through Disney that we thought we would share it with the listeners. When we slow down and watch, we can learn so much from the Disney experience. My dream is that we can bring what we've learned as a family to your family so that you can get the most out of your Disney experience. You will hear us talk a lot about dreams on Dishin It, but we will also talk about think, believe, and dare. This is a foundational Disney quote. First think, second believe, third dream, fourth dare. But we will save Walt's wisdom for another time. Regan, why the podcast?
We decided a podcast because we thought that people need to learn more about how amazing Disney is. I hope that this podcast can do that and how you can learn a little tricks that you can make so that you can make your Disney experience better.
That's fantastic, Regan, and we hope we can do that for the listeners at home. So, what can the listeners expect on each episode? Well, we have Disney travel advice. Each episode, we will review a specific component of the Disney experience. This includes everything from the planning stages to the flight home and all those little things in between. We will look at parks, lodges, cruises, giving you a unique perspective from the parent and the child. We will also go over how to plan a trip and give your family simple strategies to get the most out of your experience. Want to know how to save money? Or when to spend that extra dollar? We got you covered. As we share our Disney experiences and lessons learned, we hope that you and your family can learn a bit and enjoy the fun journey. Another segment we'll be having is Daughter and Daddy Outside the Park.
We will talk about fun and friendship and what's going on in the world today.
We will have 4 special segments each podcast: the Extra Magic Minute, Walt's Wisdom, Top 3, and Train Mail.
Extra Magic Minute. Here we unpack an Easter egg. something special and known that may be happening right in front of you.
Walt's wisdom. Daughter and Daddy provide 2 famous Disney quotes and why they are special. How we can apply them to our daily life. Our podcast motto is to think, believe, dream, dare. We are doing all 4 in making this podcast.
Top 3. Whether it is the restaurant or a ride or a movie, Daughter and Daddy have a top 3 each podcast.
And train mail. Walt loved his trains. Did you know, Regan, that trains used to deliver mail all over North America?
No.
No, they did, yeah.
Really? Wow.
Well, the listeners can send us questions too. And it's not going to come by train, but they can send us those questions via email. And if you have a question, listener at home, we'd love to answer it for you. You can send it to dishinitpodcast@gmail.com. That's dishinitpodcast@gmail.com. We would be happy to answer all the listeners' questions. We have a lot planned for the listeners in each episode. Regan, when can the listeners expect to get a new podcast?
About every 3 to 4 weeks.
That is great, Regan. So much fun doing this with you. We got a lot of stuff to bring the listeners in the inaugural episode of Dishin It. What can the listeners expect to hear in episode 1?
Let's talk about our first Disney trip to Walt Disney World and why we loved it so much.
Awesome. Love it. We can go over the experience, the legendary customer service, and the giraffe too.
We will also bring the listeners to our top 3 Walt Disney World restaurants in episode 1.
Sounds like we have a big first episode in store, Regan. I think we should sign off from Studio A113. Listeners, you can get all the latest news and updates on Dishin It on Twitter at @itdishin and Facebook at Dishin It Podcast. Big thank you to Mrs. H for allowing us to record this podcast. Thank you to Kevin MacLeod for the great music. And a big thank you to our Champs and Chums podcast friends for helping us get started.
Thank you, listeners. We hope you enjoyed this Dishin It, the Daddy-Daughter podcast. Please remember to think, believe, dream, and dare. Goodbye,
Bye, family.